Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Donovan and today I want to share with you my thoughts on the Treblab X5 true wireless earbuds available right now directly from Treblab or also from Amazon.com. I'll leave a link down in the description if you're interested in checking them out. So these are available for $80, which is a pretty darn good price for a pair of really good true wireless earbuds, which I think the X5s definitely fall into that category. So just as a little bit of perspective, I am someone who has reviewed a ton of true wireless earbuds. So these are like the Raucon Surge, the Jabra Elite Active 65Ts, the Apple AirPods, the Havit G1s, and I have others, but those are just some of my favorites, and the X5s definitely fall into that category of definitely one of my favorite pairs of true wireless earbuds. So let's go ahead and talk about what all these things have to offer, and they mention some of those things here on the back. So number one being the charging case. So that's pretty much true of every true wireless earbud. There are some that don't come with a charging case, but these of course do. As you can see here, it's very thin, and in comparison, like here's the Apple AirPod case, so you can see it's definitely a little bit bigger, but these are very portable as well. The Jabra Elite Active 65Ts, roughly around the same size. This case is just a little bit thicker, but again, also very portable. And then the Havit G1. So these are ones I would say are the most awkward ones to carry around with you. The Treblabs easily fit into a pocket, same as these two over here, the Jabra Elite Active 65T case, and then also, of course, the AirPod case is super small and super portable. And same thing here, which is kind of surprising because the earbuds themselves are a little bit bigger than the average true wireless earbud. So included in the box, you get 3 foam tips as well as 3 silicone tips. So that's small, medium, and large for each of those, and I'll talk about the difference between those two in just a little bit. You do also get 3 different sizes of ear fins and then a micro USB cable for charging up the case itself. So in terms of the foam tips and silicone tips, so they mentioned secure fit and advanced noise isolation. So if you want the most noise isolation, you'll probably want to use the foam tips, but in terms of comfort, I would say the silicone tips for me are a little bit more comfortable to wear. That's just a personal preference. Some people prefer the foam tips, but for me personally, I prefer the silicone tips, as you can see here. And the next thing they mention here, or the one thing they mention here, is the high beryllium drivers. So these have absolutely fantastic sound quality. In fact, I would put them up against pretty much every other true wireless earbud that I've ever used. Maybe the only ones I would say can compete and maybe even beat the X5s would be the Jabra Elite Active 65Ts. And the reason for that is that they actually have an equalizer built into an app that you can use with the earbuds that allow you to kind of adjust the sound quality to however you want to hear it, whereas the X5s don't have that. But these have very good low end, also good mids and high end as well. But if you want probably the best low end out of any true wireless earbud, I would say the X5s to me are the best I've ever tried out in terms of low end. So if you like that bass, these things definitely have it, and so that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the other things. So wireless microphone and calls, so you can use these of course for phone calls. Battery life, so this is another area. So sound quality, fantastic. Battery life, probably the best I've ever tried in terms of true wireless earbuds. Really the only earbuds that I would say can compete with these in terms of the battery life is probably the Apple AirPods. And the only reason I say that, these actually get 6 hours of battery life, whereas these get about 5 hours of battery life. But these can charge up a bunch more times in the case. They also have fast wireless charging inside the case, so they charge up real quickly inside the case, whereas these take a little bit longer to charge up inside that case. Now they mentioned that you get an extra 6 hours with the charging case, but actually you can get up to 3 full charges and maybe just a little bit more than that with the charging case. So really you're getting closer to like 20 hours of playback time, whereas with the Apple AirPods, I believe you can get closer to like 24 hours of total playback time with the earbuds and then also the charging case included. So battery life for an individual charge, 6 hours is really, really good. In fact, Most true wireless earbuds are closer to like 2 or 3 hours, so 6 hours is fantastic, and that is definitely a huge thumbs up for the X5s. And then they also mentioned the IPX4 certification, so they're sweat resistant. So there are definitely true wireless earbuds that you can get that have more sweat resistance or even water resistance, but having IPX4 is nice in terms of wearing them while you're in the gym. Probably wouldn't recommend them wearing in the shower for sure, definitely don't do that, or in the water, you wouldn't want to do that. And in the rain, if it's maybe a mist, they're probably going to be okay, but you probably don't want to wear them in the pouring rain like you can with some other earbuds like the Elite Active 65Ts. Alright, so up to this point, I've said a lot of really great things about the X5, so now it's time to maybe share some of the areas that these aren't necessarily the best true wireless earbuds. So number one being phone call quality. Now, I don't want to say that these have a bad phone call quality, because that's definitely not the case. In fact, I think they're actually quite good for phone calls. However, if you want to get the best phone call quality for a pair of true wireless earbuds, I think that you're probably going to need to get the Apple AirPods or the Jabra Elite Active 65Ts. So in both cases, these are nearly double the price or more than double the price in the case of the Elite Active 65Ts versus the X5. So these are $160 retail price. These are $190 retail price, or maybe $180, I can't remember. But either way, the X5s are significantly cheaper and still do a solid job of phone call. Now, the reason why I say they're not the best is because the person on the other end will have absolutely no issue hearing you. In fact, they really couldn't tell the difference between me being on a directly on my handset versus being on the earbuds if I was in a quiet room. But if I was in a noisy room, the person on the other end could hear some of the things going on around me, and they could tell that it sounded like I was either on speakerphone or they were on speakerphone, but they could still hear me quite clearly, just they could hear the other things going on around me as well. So that would be one area. And then the other area, again, is kind of in the design. So not that these things are hideous, not that they're ugly, but they do look a little bit weird when you're wearing them. I'm not going to lie on that end. And I think the reason for that is because they're trying to fit in all that battery into these earbuds. And in order to do that, they had to make them a little bit bigger than the average true wireless earbud. So with that being said, if you are looking for really two areas, I think that these are the absolute best. Sound quality and battery life. If those are priorities for you, then the X5s are definitely a pair of true wireless earbuds I could recommend, hands down. I think the price is fantastic, and overall, I'm really happy with the X5s, and definitely a pair of true wireless earbuds I can recommend to friends and family. Hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.